Hey, it's David Kohlmeier, the problem solver. Today we have JT, Dr. G
Hey.
in the house. We have Danny Miner, the crime solver.
Hey, what's going on, Dave?
And today we have a special guest, Frank Pizzaro. Thanks so much for joining us today, Frank.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, Frank.
So
Hey.
Frank is a retired FDNY firefighter, survived and worked 9/11. And we're glad you're here today. Tell us a little bit about yourself so we hear the whole scoop.
Well, I had the privilege of serving in the military. I did 2 tours of duty in Iraq. I did some odds and ends jobs. I did some singing, and then I joined the FDNY and did 22 years with them.
Oh, wow.
Wait, you sang before you joined?
I sang
The
before,
department, right?
during, and after.
No way.
Yes.
Okay. And you sang with whom?
Uh,
Can you say?
I was the lead singer for the Platters for about 10 years.
Whoa.
No way.
Yeah.
You were the lead singer.
For the actual
What?
Platters with actual original members, yeah.
What?
With the OGs?
With the OGs.
Oh, my God, that's awesome.
Are there videos of you
Yeah.
online and stuff, I'm assuming?
There are.
I'd love to see
while
that.
Chase is doing nothing as the engineer, maybe you could scoop up some videos to see if we could find them.
Yes.
I'll see what I can do.
Yes, please. I'd
always
love
like-
to see it.
He's always like falling asleep.
We might have to hear him
after the show.
sing.
Yeah, we
I put you on the
Yeah.
front spot.
Frank,
So,
come on. You got
let's go there.
a little sample.
So
Maybe
you-
not right now, but
So you grew up, actually, Dr. G sings, so maybe you guys can sing together here today.
Wow.
I only sing in the shower, but naked. Yeah, that's one of the best.
Frank's gonna have to get naked today if he wants to sing.
No,
Will you get naked today for Dr. G?
I surely will not. I surely will
Don't
not.
get him in trouble with
I don't
his
know why
wife.
nobody wants to get naked with Dr. G. I don't get it. Like,
Because I'm hideous. Because I'm scary. I'm scary.
Dude, I'm married to a black woman.
He's gonna get beat.
stay away.
That is not going to happen.
He's gonna get beat the fuck up.
Not
All right.
at all.
So, question for you. So, you grew up, you were born in New York? Where were you?
Yeah, born and raised in the Upper East Side of Manhattan, yeah.
It's so funny when you say Upper East Side. Like, I feel like these days I don't really hear people say
Ooh.
Upper East. Like it's a New York thing to say Upper East Side. Like,
Triple digits.
yeah, like
That's
people
where
just
I
don't
lived
know.
in New York. I
But
lived in
when
Upper
you-
East Side.
Did you? Mm-hmm. When you say Upper East Side, but you're not talking like 125 Street, like 125th?
Anything from 100th Street up is
Is Upper East
Upper
Side?
East Side. You know, they actually started the upper 90s and up. So they changed those names around depending on who's buying the real estate, right? You got the Upper Yorkville and all that business.
I was on 61st and Park. That was Upper East Side. No?
It's mid
Midtown, right?
Midtown.
Really? Wait.
Like
oh.
40
Well, up
feet.
in-
A little,
We're
it's a little
Upper
bit high, right?
East. Yeah.
She used to work on the streets. And,
Yeah, on Upper East
On
Side.
the Upper
yeah.
East Side,
she was East Side.
125th Street.
Anything you want.
Anything.
She used to work massage parlor on 61st and Park.
How did
Nice.
you know?
No?
How did you know? Oh, that's because you went there.
You told me.
I knew you looked familiar.
She told you.
I knew.
I tipped you.
I knew you looked familiar, Dave.
So she remembered me like that. Damn. All right, so
I went ahead and found this video of him singing real fast.
All right, let's hear it. Let's go. We're
Before
gonna
you
see.
get into this
Not
next
just
thing.
any random.
Oh, there he is.
Don't play
No,
that
no.
one, please.
Yeah,
not
just
that
a little
one.
bit.
Look at this.
Which one do you want? Which one do you want?
is there a better one?
I'll get.
Is
Do we
there-
do we take a break on this show?
No.
No breaks.
It's 6 hours straight.
Stardust.
Stardust?
Stardust,
Yeah,
all right.
It's right here.
All right, let's see if we got it.
Okay.
It's
hold
got
on.
me walking down the street of New York.
There's an advertisement.
That's the one.
All right, hold on.
That's the one.
You guys keep up your thing.
I'm
All right, he's
excited.
gonna get it ready.
So, question for you. So, born in New York,
Yeah.
your whole life. You said 2 tours of Iraq. Question for you. So, when you say tours, is it 4? 4 years the first one?
4 years, the first one.
What made you do, like, after 4, like, what made you say, I'm going to do a second tour?
I know it was 2 tours during that first enlistment.
Oh, the first 4
okay.
years.
Right.
So, you didn't re-sign up again?
No, I got out
So why
for a
go
dumb
home?
reason.
Okay.
A woman, but it didn't work out. So
But and most of the times it doesn't work out for these women.
no.
These women over here. It never
You got
does.
to, you got when
can't
you
win.
when you
There's no
mature
winning.
and get older, then you get a little more
realize.
tolerance and all that kind of good stuff.
Don't tell her all our secrets.
No,
She's going to use it
I
against
need
us.
some. Come on.
Well, she's Dr. G. She knows.
Dr. G.
I already know.
She's
I know
Dr. G.
your men shenanigans.
She's been around the
I
block.
put,
at
I
least
put
one
up with
block.
it.
So, 2 times you went. That's kind of crazy if you think about it. You do one tour and then like, you go back. Like most people probably just do 1 tour and that's it, right?
Right.
How long is a tour?
Well,
Exactly.
tour is just the amount of time that you spend. So if you go there 3 months and you come back and you go back another, you did 2 tours because you
So
went,
what
'cause
was
you
your
went
first
twice.
tour? How many days, weeks, months?
6 months.
6 months. That's big.
6 months.
And then the second tour?
It was short because I got out not long after. I got out in '91.
Okay.
And you were in what branch? I'm sorry.
The Navy.
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 Cool.
Do you feel looking back on it great experience, or do you feel
Oh, it was awesome.
It was awesome.
Serving is always,
I've always wanted to do it. It's funny. You'll laugh when I say this, that I'm Jewish. So my mom's like, "Oh, Jewish people don't go into the military." I was like, "You can't do that," I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I've always wanted to do like the, not like the explorers like cops, but the, what do you call it, like RTC? Like I was always interested like in the military, and so wind up being a cop, like more quasi-military as we would say it.
right.
RTC, like the drill team?
Yeah, they would do
ROTC.
that in
Well,
high
ROTC
school.
is what they
ROTC.
do. You do that during college or something, and then when you graduate, you have to give 6 years to the military.
Right, okay.
So-
But you didn't do it.
I always wanted to do it, but like my mother was talking me out of it, and I guess most people like. It's not,
Well, that's
not a
how
New York
the-
City thing. Watching Chips, like watching.
But that's
watching
how
cops on
mothers
TV.
did the generation. Is they didn't want you to get in, and
They didn't want you to get killed.
Yeah.
Of course,
God forbid something happens,
Yeah.
Frank, I got a question for you. While you were in Iraq, right? I'm sure a lot of people probably have asked you this before, but I'm sure our audience wants to know. Like, when you're there, were you on land the whole time, or?
No, I was attached to a squadron,
Okay.
so we flew eight A6s.
Okay, so you weren't actually in the land there.
Inland, no.
Okay.
Now I did do a short period. It was just to do maintenance.
Okay.
But otherwise, I was on the USS America.
I
as an
was just
aircraft
wondering,
carrier.
like, the people that are there, I mean, are you feeling in danger all the time?
The
or-
whole time you're wondering what's going to
I
happen.
bet.
Yeah.
That's how I wanted to know. Yeah, I
We
guess
got
you-
shot at all the time. We lost airplanes.
Oh, my God.
It's
Wow.
we lost a few guys. So it's it's an experience that I do it all over again.
Of course.
But like being a cop or being a fireman, you know what you're getting into.
You know what you're
And
getting into.
that's
exactly.
that's part of the deal. And
Yep, I agree with you. I mean, when I took that job, when Dave swore, we swore that we'd risk our lives, just like you did as a fireman. You know what I mean? So it's just something. My God, you did it your whole life, service and then fireman. You know,
yeah.
and now you're treating us what you're singing.
Yeah.
he's gonna push that until something happens.
I always remember I took the FDNY twice. One time, I really didn't want to be a fireman. I think I just took it to get the day off, like on a Saturday, to take the civil service test that you get off as a New York City cop or something. But I remember being in Brooklyn, and me and my partner were in a car, and we're watching these FDNY guys. There was like a fire, and there was like a fridge, and they were like they were fighting the fridge because it was like fire coming out, and they were sweating. I'm like, and we're sitting in the air conditioned car. I'm like, I would never want that job, I was like, I'm like fighting this fire. It's like 110 degrees outside, And I remember just sitting in the air conditioned car watching the fire guys. And I wouldn't want it.
Yeah.
But most people, it's a better job than NYPD than FDNY.
It's a different job because the same with you guys. You don't know. We go into a fire. We don't know we're coming out. But that's for you guys all day, every day. You're on the street. You're a target.
Yeah.
Why I used to
Especially
say-
now.
Why I used to say with
Especially
a
now.
fire,
Yeah.
you gotta most of the times you gotta go in. But as a cop, like you could hide behind a car or like a
That's what Dave
mailbox and shoot back, and not basically run into a house.
He
with
was
a fire.
hiding the whole time, when he was on the force.
Dave was like, "Please, radio, don't go off."
Yeah.
So wait, were you a
I was kind of like talking
firefighter?
like donut.
Were you a firefighter in New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was on the Upper West Side.
Oh wow.
She worked the West Side too.
What?
She was
Okay.
East.
I
and
worked
West.
everywhere, baby. That's why I'm so successful now.
Well,
She became a millionaire from actually these massage parlors. that
Oh,
she
yeah.
owned,
Huge.
East Side and West Side.
You see?
Yeah,
Maybe we
huge.
were in the wrong business.
Yeah.
we did get a text from an audience member. I just got one.
Was it good?
Remember God?
Yeah.
Remember God? He used to
What'd
like
he say?
Beja and
Now he likes
talk about.
John T?
Yes.
He's not moving
He has
to
a
John T.
question for you, John
Oh,
T.
sure.
Okay. He said, "Tell John T. I only sing in the shower also. So if she ever needs a duet, I'm down." He'll duet with you in the shower, he said.
Well, thank you, God. His name's God.
God.
Oh, interesting.
His last name's Gaudiano, so we called him God as a nickname.
Well, thank you, God. I'll keep that in mind.
You know what we could do? With
He's a very handsome
wrong.
man.
Ooh.
You know what's
Yeah,
actually
very. All Italians are.
Okay.
I just realized one thing.
Right?
We can make some money with John T. There's a thing called Cameo. Are you familiar with Cameo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can sing in the shower with Jean T for Marrying Millions.
I don't think that's how Cameo works.
No, you can do different things.
Oh, you can.
You
Okay.
can do.
Okay.
But you should be on Cameo.
It's
I
a
just realized
shout.
that.
It's a shout out kind of thing.
Yes.
But you
Yeah.
could say like maybe we could change it up like FaceTime in the shower with John T.
Well, shit. If I'm gonna do that, I might as well do an OnlyFans. Okay. Come on now.
No, that's
and
it.
probably
No.
make more money.
No, it's just a little bit different of a twist with Cameo. I mean,
Hey,
OnlyFans
look,
can be that.
focus, Frank.
I know. I'm just,
Frank.
Well, Frank, he could jump in any time to think if he's going to.
I'm not touching that. I told
Do you
you
see what
already.
God did? God did this, and we're off to John
Okay.
T now.
Jump in
All
anytime.
right, we're jumping around.
So to get
God, she said you do the duet.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy,
Quick
Frank.
question for you.
Don't be shy.
No, because she was involved in the massage parlor business. That's what we joke around. But here's a question: as FDNY, did you ever go into any of those massage parlors for fires
Yeah, be honest.
or anything? Because I went in as a cop.
No, I never went
Never?
to the massage parlor.
No. Like you were
No.
working and there was a fire.
No,
or nothing.
No, nothing.
Zero.
Not for the fire.
Now there was a fire downstairs from a building, but those guys were already out by the time we went
Got
in
it.
there. So
He went in to get fire.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
no,
No, I'm just. I've got it as a cop. I used to do. I'm not sure if you know this. I used to do. It was like you'll laugh at this one, but not. I wasn't getting massages, but like massage parlor compliance. So we would go in to see if the person that was giving massages had a license.
Okay.
And basically, a lot of times they didn't have licenses, so we would shut them down with code enforcement. And this was in Henderson.
Yeah.
And actually, we're going to have someone on next week to talk about massage parlors because they're all over the place and they're involved.
Are you serious?
Yes.
he got all excited. I'm like, so-
I've been waiting for that gal.
Are you serious?
No, because I mean
Yeah.
the sad part about it is there's human trafficking, but for some
Yes.
reason it seems like it's like almost acceptable in America because there's massage parlors at every block,
Yeah.
and people just don't talk about the issue. But there are major issues behind it.
I
But,
did. Honestly, I did really work in one when I was 19.
you got to
yeah.
save that story for
Yeah.
next week.
Okay. Yeah.
well, people are actually getting locked in there overnight.
Yeah.
That we have responded to. We do inspections and we find that people are locked in the place
What's the reason
overnight
why? Because
because they're indentured.
they're forced to sleep there.
They're forced to
No, I've
sleep there
seen
by
that,
the
the
people
bedding.
that brought them over.
That's
So
crazy.
sad.
That is
Yeah.
horrible.
It's
No,
so
that's
sad.
That's horrible, man.
The same with the garment district, and they lock those gates, the roll down gates, and people are actually living in there overnight. They're not allowed to leave.
In Chinatown, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I always remember seeing some Law and Order cases like that where it's real stuff. I mean, I look at these crazy people out there. Look, the other day actually there was a guy, most likely on meth. He killed someone, put him in a barrel.
Yes.
Oh, that
I
guy.
saw it.
Oh,
People were
yes.
saying that because we're involved in the whole Lake Mead situation, but it wasn't Lake Mead. People were texting me, "Oh, they found the body in a barrel, Lake Mead."
See,
but it was just a
he's-
regular person.
See,
that-
he's copying that whole Lake Mead thing, the whole barrel thing. You know, it's like, oh, it's
By the way, quick question since we have here. Someone mentioned I mentioned that we should go down to this guy I've never actually done this before, but I want to do it.
Go down and
Go
interview
down
him.
there and like say, "Hey, look, I'm from the Problem Solver Show,
Right.
And I want to talk to you about the incident because it's up to him if he wants to talk. He may talk
We can go to the prison and interview him.
and
Yeah.
interview him just
yeah.
because we're saying we're media. We want to just talk with him.
Yeah.
And if he says no, but I think you have to fill out paperwork.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
I'd like
we
to try doing that actually.
Dave.
I've never done that.
I might get more out of him than you
That's
do,
true.
Will.
That's true.
But I think that it's not like you see the person
That's
first.
true.
You
We should
have to
bring
do
John T
paperwork.
with us.
But we have to do paperwork.
Huh?
I think you have to do paperwork. I mean, we could if we could send a picture of John T saying that she wants to see him. But there's no picture. You're just filling out paperwork.
That's visiting hours. That's a different situation.
Would you go for visiting? We could try it. We could try it.
Well, there was 8 homicides this week in Vegas.
really?
That's insane. 8 homicides in 5 days in Las Vegas during Thanksgiving weekend. That's crazy.
Wow.
That is crazy.
So, Frank, you've been here 7 years?
Since 2017.
Okay. So here's a
5
question for
years.
you. How do you feel crime is in general? Because we always go back to crime because we're retired cops. Like, do we think things are getting a lot worse?
I think crime is crime, and I think now the difference between now and then is that now we have the social media, so you see it more.
I agree.
So it's not that it's any different. I just think it's more visible to everybody.
But you know what's interesting? But for Vegas, like, you keep seeing, like, hit and run, this guy dead, that guy dead, motorcycle. Like, I just see a lot of death. And that's not even on social media. It's like the regular news. I just feel that it's every day. Like, it's constant now. Now, December, there's an increase because of the holiday time, the seasonal depression syndrome that people, because it's getting dark at 5 o'clock. There's a lot more crime in December, especially for drinking and driving, parties, right? You know?
Suicides. all
Suicide's
that kind of-
big, huge.
So we keep talking about. We just think things are worse. We want to bring the sheriff on, which I got a message the sheriff. And
Well,
see if
I
we can
just
get him on.
think people love gore, and that's why I think media is capitalizing on all this stuff because people love watching it and listening to it, and that's why you're doing so well, Danny, with the whole
Right.
crime thing because people love all that
Right.
shit, you know.
Yeah, especially, I mean, that Idaho murders it's just such a mystery. I mean, it's a mystery. I mean,
No,
it's
it's
crazy.
really
Yeah.
Somebody knows.
Oh, somebody knows always.
It's like
They-
everything.
always.
Somebody knows.
Yep, always.
I mean,
So jumping is the video ready?
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's pick it.
All right, let's see him sing
Now
now.
let's see if this is the
Or something
correct
more
one.
Frank, you have multiple talents. Multiple.
Let's see. Hold on.
We're just displaying your talents,
We're,
Frank.
we're,
Let's see.
Oh, wait.
That's not it either.
That's not it either.
Ah.
All right.
All right, that's not it
We'll
either.
come back to it.
We'll
You're
come back.
walking
We'll
down
go.
the street in the Stardust video, you said.
Yes, it's Frankie Pizarro Stardust.
All right. I'll keep looking for it.
All right.
So Chase is new here, so we apologize.
That's okay.
This is his fourth week.
That's all right.
He's a little slow.
So,
It's actually funny because you're telling this guy to find like a YouTube video that like there's millions of videos, and he's gonna find this one video.
and we're
Let's see how many wrong ones I can pull up.
The next one you pick is the one you play.
The
It's
video,
gotta be it.
the actual icon of it should be my face.
I think I see it. You're wearing like a nice kind of pork pie hat going on.
That's correct.
All
Okay.
right.
we got it.
Yay. I'm excited.
There's an advertisement, so keep on.
All right, we'll talk for a while.
Okay,
Give
so
it 10 seconds.
in regards to singing, when you were in the military, you sang
Just on my own. I wasn't really.
in the shower.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've been singing since I was 6. My parents built a little stool to sit on the front of church.
Oh, wow.
My father sang opera. My mother sang with Billy Graham's choir.
Oh, wow.
So
It's in your blood.
it's in the
huh?
blood. It's in
She
the
sang
blood.
in the choir.
That's awesome.
that's
And then so
amazing.
you became FDNY. How old?
29.
Okay, that's kind of considered a little
28,
bit
29. It was
a little
late.
bit older. Like
it was
late.
older.
'Cause most people
Well,
in New York-
I actually was qualified to come in earlier, but I had a vision thing. I had to get my vision fixed.
Okay.
So that was a delay about 5 years
because of vision. Wow.
because of the vision. Yeah. So
I actually, with NYPD, I was actually put on the medical list because I had a stomach issue. So you have to go through their doctor. And did you have to go to the same thing, Left Rack City or something like that? Is that Queens?
ours was down on
So what year
West
did
Broadway?
you? What year did you go in?
99.
Okay, 99. Okay, so I actually became a cop July 1st, 1998.
Right.
And
So,
1998.
so when you're joining the force, you have to go through a medical check, and you
Yeah.
have to be
Medical,
completely.
Psychological.
psychological,
Okay.
Yep.
and
You would-
physical.
You would not get through the psychological.
How about me and Dave got through it? That's
Yeah, if you guys can get through it, I think it'll be a
It takes
breeze.
practice to go through that.
They could get away with a lot more stuff than we could have. What we were trying to get into, though.
Gross.
Yeah.
It's actually funny because in Left Rack City, which is in Queens, I always remember there was the medical division of NYPD. I guess it's different for FDNY. But I always remember being in a room. I think there was like 30 guys and like you're naked, waiting
What?
for this doctor to come around to
What?
check each one of you.
what?
That was a special for him. That don't.
Dave was in the wrong room.
Because there's so many cops. Like
What?
my police academy class was like 1,300 cops.
I don't know.
Yours was probably like 5.
Your butt-
How many,
I
how many
don't
cops
read-
in your academy class?
I'm going to say 35.
Mine was 1,300. And it went daytime.
Yeah, mine was
nighttime.
35.
I did the daytime, nighttime time. We had 350.
Yeah. I actually.
But there was no naked.
Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah, it was like 30 guys, and then the doctor went, like looked you up and down to make sure like you were
What?
medically. Yeah.
That sounds like the military.
There was
It was like that.
there was a story on that not long after that.
So
Dave went to the special room, I think.
The special room.
I think he was in the special room.
special
They're
people.
like, he look, yeah, freaky. Okay, not freaky.
Dave said, "Why are
He
you
looks
touching
freaky.
there?" The guy said, "Hey, just don't worry." Dave's
Hey.
like, "All right, I want the job.
Yeah.
Everything's good."
I was delayed, I think, about 6 months because the medical,
Sure,
takes some
sure.
time and doctor's notes and stuff like that. And
6 months, so you had some kind of STD.
No, but the
What?
Wow.
The clap. Everybody's had to clap, Dave.
Everyone's-
You're good, right?
everyone's got the clap.
You screamed when you peed. That was it.
That's why he was in the naked room.
Yes.
Month window.
So it got extended for 6 months, and I went to the next class. Queens College is where I was sworn in Queens. But anyway, so you say, so tell us about your career in regards to FDNY. Where'd you start?
Well, when I started, they still had a rotation program in place. So I started at my house in Engine 76 on the Upper West Side, and then they transferred me to Ladder 1 down on Duane Street. And then after that, I went to Staten Island for 6 months, and then they canceled it due to they just canceled the rotation, and not long after that, 9/11 happened.
Okay, so they rotated it around. So you couldn't stay in the same. Don't most guys stay in the same house? They love staying like it's such a.
Well, they do
camaraderie.
now. They stopped it.
Okay.
So what they wanted to do was train guys in different boroughs doing different kinds of buildings and dealing with that kind of stuff. And I think it was
Diversity-wise.
better because it was
Diversified you.
yeah, it was a discipline thing. You know, for 3 years you were kind of a probie. You were a rookie for 3
You
years.
know, it's kind of messed up because, and one thing maybe John T or even Danny, for being a bigger agency, like I feel like people need to be rotated because, like, if you knew somebody, you got this beautiful precinct, you walked around like the 111 where I grew up in Queens. It's a beautiful area for being at least in New York City. And then if you didn't know anybody like me, I was in Brownsville, East New York, Brooklyn, in the 7-3, right? So I was walking around like holding on my gun, making sure nobody would steal it while I was in uniform. But what happens is people become negative in the bad areas. And maybe with FDNY, they want to fight fires and it's different. But as a cop, you become very negative. So like I think I've said it before, but I've driven with another cop and someone like would wave and I would say, hey, pull over. And they'd be like, no, he's just waving to the police. I'm like, no, he's not waving to the police. He needs help, But cops become very negative and people would say they should just drop off, drugs and food, by helicopter and just, gate off the area. Like people became negative, but because it was such a bad area and, people were so negative to the police. But I think if you rotate people, right, you're not, imagine being a cop in such a bad area for 20 years.
Yeah.
You are a different cop. You're like an aggressive dog
Yes.
compared to the guy that's, in a really nice area. Even in Staten
Well,
Island.
that could go both ways because what I think should happen is that police should police. Because this is why we have the issue of, people say all cops.
Right.
That's just lazy.
Right.
Because what happens is you have more good cops than you have bad cops.
Of course.
And if, I understand the blue line and the whole deal, but if you check the guys who are not doing the right thing, then it makes it easier for the guys that are doing the right thing. And you go into neighborhoods and people call you by name.
Oh, yeah.
And then and then what happens is those guys that are doing the wrong thing mess it up for those guys who are trying to do right. And it messes up those relationships. And a lot of those guys took a long time to build those relationships.
I'll tell you this. I came from a smaller department. We only had 150 guys, okay, police officers. But I could tell you this. Everyone in that community knew my name because I was out there. I stopped in every business. I talked to everybody. I just stopped and talked to people about sports, talked to them about this and that. People respected me because I was there even when there wasn't a problem.
And when you're having a hard time with a perp, sometimes those guys will be the ones to help you out.
100%. And cops need to get out of the car and meet the public. They got to do that again. That's what I believe. Don't you, Dave?
Absolutely. One of the problems in Vegas here on the Strip, which we always talk about, is just there's not enough cops basically on the Strip. And like I said, I think it's a major problem. Like I drove the other day. I mean, you just don't see cops.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And I think there was a Marine or somebody that said that they wanted to blow up the Strip or do something.
Yeah.
I didn't even know those, so I didn't follow that one. All right, I know that we have the song. I'm dying to hear the song already. We've been changing it now. Let's play it now. At least it has to upbeat our situation.
That's the one.
That's it.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Chase can keep his job.
And now the purple dusk of twilight time steals across the meadows of my heart. High up in the sky, the little stars climb, always reminding me that we're apart. You wandered down the lane and far, far away, leaving me a song that will not die. Love is now the stardust of yesterday, the music of the years gone by. Sometimes I wonder why I spend the lonely nights dreaming of a song. The melody haunts my reverie, and I am once again with you. When our love was new, and each kiss an inspiration. But that was long ago. Now my consolation is in the stardust of a song.
Wow, Frank.
Awesome.
Very nice. Wow. Woo. Is that your wife?
That is my wife.
I
yes.
figured, yes.
So, question for you, because I don't really follow it. The Platters, right? Mm-hmm. But they started what year?
1954.
So, did it change over time? Who was in it?
Oh yeah. They had their group was really together 5 or 6 years. The original members, and then we had one guy here, Sonny Turner, who was the sixth guy off the bench. He replaced Tony Williams, who was the lead, and then over the years, different changes.
Wow.
So right now,
there is a group now.
there's still the group.
It's still an authorized group. Yeah.
Are you part of it still? Or no.
No, I left there 2015.
What makes you go out of it? Like you just been enough time?
You
or
know,
just too old?
the last original member died in 2012.
Okay.
And I right, and I did it for a couple of years after that, and then it was a little different. So
Right.
I decided
It
it wasn't
So when you were singing, how many were the original?
one.
One guy that was left.
Herb Reed. He's the bass man.
Okay.
He was the bass man, and then Zola Taylor died just before him.
It's kind of interesting for the fact that it was from 1954, and then as people said as they pass away, right, other people take over the role.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the different Platters because it's all different people. It's not the same, right?
And it's the hits are the hits. So what those original members did is actually the group, and then everything else is just they're doing the songs of the original.
Oh, like cover. So you're just the kind of.
Well, no, because we're still the group.
Okay.
And we still travel the world and tour with, we did a tour with the Temptations and the Four Tops, and they still have original members.
Yeah.
And so it was a good time. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's a type of music.
Yeah, absolutely.
basically, yeah.
So do you do anything singing right now?
I'm getting ready to do Bowser. You know Bowser?
Yeah.
Sean and I'm doing
Oh
his
my
show in
God.
January.
Where's that gonna be at?
In Mohegan Sun in Connecticut.
Okay.
And then I'm doing a show March 10th in Delaware
All right.
Oh wow.
with Bobby Wilson, Jackie Wilson's son, and a few others, the Tramps.
Oh, wow.
And the Vogues, yeah. So
Where's that in Delaware?
the Grand Theater?
Oh, okay.
Wow, that's great. You're still active in the
Yeah,
whole musician thing.
I'm just looking to build my own thing. I want to do a full orchestra thing and the whole travel, continue to travel the world.
So tell us about. So it's all, I mean, basically, you've done a lot in general. Appreciate your service as well as being FDNY and also military. Tell us a little bit about, I guess, 9/11 in regards to that day. I mean, I worked, you worked. Where were you? Tell us a little bit.
Well, originally I was home,
Okay.
and I had switched tour with a guy, and I was still living at home at the time.
You just started.
I just gotten divorced, and I was at home, and my mother called me, and she says, "Look, there was an accident." So I came out, looked at the TV, and I'm watching the TV, watching the smoke coming out of the building, and then I watched the other plane hit the building, and I'm like, that was not an accident. So I got my stuff on, and I went down to the firehouse, and the rigs had already gone, and about 30 of us got there from home, and we just collected our gear, and we had in New York, we have snow. So we had a thawing unit. It was a box truck that goes and thaws out all the hydrants
snow,
and things.
right.
And we all jumped on that and zoomed down the West Side Highway, and we got down there and started to operate.
Okay.
Wow.
So you were only on for like 2 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
They gave me 3 years for my military service.
Okay.
So it was 22 years, including the military
Got it.
service. Yeah.
Hey, Frank, I want to ask you, so from 9/11, do you have any medical issues from that time?
I have quite a few, and that's really why I moved out here.
Okay.
My wife already had a place out here, and we got married, and I came out here, and I lung issues and all that other,
From
things
that, right?
From that, yeah.
time.
And I actually hadn't planned on retiring. They actually told me I had to go because a lieutenant told me, go take these exams.
Right.
And I did, and I gave them the paperwork, and they're like, yeah, you're done.
Right.
I'm like, what do you mean I'm done?
Right.
So well, you got this, and this, and this.
Jeez.
Yeah, but how many years total did you do?
20.
Yeah, but so many, many years later, the question is, you're saying that over time things got worse, or
They've gotten a little bit. I have issues
so when
with
you did the test, it came up.
They came. I didn't feel it. I wasn't thinking about anything. I thought the things I dealt with was because
Just normal. Getting
just
old,
normal. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man. Well, I brought that up because, remember, we had that other guest that was at 9/11, too. That
Got
has
you,
a lot
yeah.
of,
Could you tell us if you want to, if it brings back bad memories, don't. Okay, but when you got down there, I mean, there had to be some kind of fear. I mean, you had to know. I mean, we all knew this was the worst thing that could happen.
Well,
right?
as we were coming off the rig, we
Okay.
were walking down West Street,
All right.
and I look at the guys and I say, a lot of guys are gonna die today.
You said that.
Yeah.
You knew it, right?
And I knew they, you know. So we got down there, and the first building started to come down. We, you know, hit into a
So you heard it coming.
oh yeah, it's like a train, like
Oh
a
my
freight train.
God.
And then,
You had to think it was the end of your life, right?
well, I thought about what I was thinking about was the guys that were already in there.
Right.
You know, 3,000 people died.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah. I
You
didn't
know, we
even
lost
think of that.
343 firemen.
Yeah. What? Some 80-some cops, right? Something like that.
It was 20-something PD and another 20-something Port Authority police.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
And, you know, whatever the
Oh my
civilians
God.
were.
So when that building came down, you had to think, this is the end of the world. I mean, this is the worst that could happen.
What's
right?
worse is when we came out and saw it looked like Iraq. I mean, it was.
So just recap. So where were you exactly? So the second one goes into house. Where were
we were
you,
down at Incident Command,
But before you got down there, the tower already went down.
the first,
The first one, okay.
Right.
So when you were down and the second tower goes down.
Right.
Where were you when the tower went down?
just at the foot of it.
Oh
foot
my
of it.
God.
Right. And
So were you running
You were
back? Or where were you
running?
running?
we were running down into, there was a underground garage
path?
over by the financial thing,
Yeah.
and we went down in there.
And just running and it covered or?
Oh, a lot of smoke, a lot of dust and everything came in. When we came out, it was a whole different place. You know, and then Building 7 came down where Verizon was. And I was actually in that building just before it came down.
Okay.
So,
Oh my gosh. Frank, now, I'm assuming you heard some of the people jumping, right? I mean, I watched all the documentaries. I mean, it had to be the worst
you see
thing.
people dropping. It's like when if you drop the watermelon from high enough, it just splatters out.
Oh my God.
So, you know, and there's a lot of screaming, a lot of bleeding, a lot of, you know.
It was so
And there
devastating.
came a time as we were working over the months that the only way you could find anybody at that point was just from the smell.
Ugh.
Are you serious?
You know, and they
Oh
had the
my
dogs
God.
go out and look for guys. The cops were all over that.
Right.
The police dogs were out there looking for, you know, the smell of dead people. And we did it all by bucket.
Okay.
You know, we were there for months, you know, digging.
We were glued. I was in New York at that time when it happened, so I was in 61st, and we're just glued to the TV the whole time.
I was in
It didn't
Pennsylvania.
go anywhere.
Yeah.
And then what happens is every time we found somebody, we'd stop. Like, say the guy was from your precinct. We wouldn't touch him. We'd call a guy from the precinct, his precinct, to come down and get him. And then everybody would line up and salute when they'd come out.
Oh my God.
So,
God, that breaks my heart.
you know, and that went on for months and months. So,
Anything specific that you wanted to share about that day or anything there's not much really?
there's really nothing. The only thing that gets me about where we live as a country is that we shouldn't just look out for each other when something bad happens. And that's exactly what's happening. You need a tragedy in order for everybody to unite.
Come together.
You know, I remember for the first 6 months after 9/11, I couldn't buy my own meal,
Same here.
you know. But after the 6 months, we'd go honking the horn down the street and I'd get the finger.
Yeah.
You know, what do you guys do?
Right.
I'm like, wow, really? You guys forget really quick.
But most people love firemen in general, but I agree with you. People were trying to buy me food and stuff when I was working Grand Central, but I always felt like it was the worst because I was getting food because other people died. Like I didn't, what happens is they didn't ask me, they paid and left, or they left a note. like,
Exactly
"Thanks for
right.
Service. So you couldn't say no, their meal was already paid. Or sometimes they'd give money and say, hey, pay for someone else. But to me, I was eating because I was alive and because the other guy was unlucky that he died at the tower, you know? So like to me, I didn't feel right taking free meal for what? Like,
Well, this is
I
the-
understand what they were trying to do, but
Right. I mean, that's what happened to me this past 9/11. In my uniform, I sing every year at Station 5 the national anthem for the ringing the bell.
Okay.
And I went over to Blueberry Hill, and a bunch of us ate. And I was over paying off, and the guy came and tapped his card and walked out. And he was like, yeah, thanks.
That's it?
most
I was
people...
like, wow.
Goodness.
I mean,
Okay.
he actually, you know, he
Yeah.
tapped and paid
And-
for
and
everybody's
just-
meal.
Oh my gosh.
Most people, I don't know why, for police wise, they'll always like they'll pay if they're gonna they'll pay for the bill, but they like walk out. They don't want to. There's like no interaction in general. They'll just
No.
say, "Hey, let's pay for the bill."
That's kind of weird.
You know,
Well, because they're trying to be sensitive to us too.
Okay.
They're trying not to, you know,
Oh.
talk about it. And a lot of the, you know, when you do charity, you want to do charity like we spoke earlier.
Yeah.
You do charity, you don't want your name attached to it. You just want to do it and walk off knowing that somebody, you know. And that's why when I came here, I was bouncing off the walls at first. I was, you know, they say you plant flowers and stuff when you retire. I'm like, that doesn't work here.
Right. You can't plant flowers here.
You know, so I started this.
Sure you
so I
can.
started.
I guess you can. It won't work though.
So I started the charity to take care of fallen heroes and their families.
tell us about the
Awesome.
charity.
Oh,
All right, so
amazing.
it's Firefighter Memorial Transport, and it started that way, of course, because I'm a fireman. So we
Right.
started out with a fire truck we got from New Jersey,
Okay.
and we brought it out here, and we put all the gold leafing, and we outfitted it. We had it fabricated so a lift. You put the casket here, and it actually lifts the casket up on the top, and you carry the caskets in procession.
Okay.
Fantastic. And we're doing one for PD, and we have an Humvee coming for veterans. And
Awesome.
we also take care of the families. You know, we give the meals for the time during the thing. We go down and help them with their arrangements. We also help the community, Thanksgiving dinners, coat drives, school supplies, all that kind of good stuff. And so, and if the family needs any financial help, we help them out too. And so, you know, what happens when a lot of guys retire, especially, is like, thank you for your service, and go to the funeral home, use a hearse. But now we give them the extra something that they actually worked on and wrote on to carry them.
I agree.
You
That's
know,
wonderful. What's it called again? I'm sorry?
Firefighter Memorial Transport.
Is it their website, like .com?
It's
or
firefightermemorialtransport.org.
.org, okay.
It's a 501c3,
Okay.
and nobody on staff makes a dime. Every dime goes to the families and to serve the
But
organization.
this is locally or national?
Right now, it's locally.
Locally here in town.
And hopefully, you know, if it catches on, we'll
Yeah.
do. You know,
That's a
I
great
did it
thing.
a lot when I was with the FDNY. They have a rig for that,
Right.
But they didn't have it out here. So I said, well, let me do this and offer that service.
That was my
Awesome.
question. I was to say to you is that I always feel there's like a lot of nonprofits out there in general. What made you decide to make this one? Is it because it wasn't out here? I feel like a lot of people like start a nonprofit, they want to be in charge of it. There's so many nonprofits that need help. Like, why didn't you work with another firefighter nonprofit, or you wanted to do your own thing? Or,
I wanted to serve the families and the fallen.
okay.
And so I wanted to provide an honor to veterans and first responders that wasn't actually being offered. You know, and so from one fireman to another fireman, from a veteran, I'm also a veteran, so to another veteran.
Exactly.
And you know, I have brothers, you know, I call brothers police officers, and, you know, they deserve that honor too. And it's really not only for them, but it's for their families and for their friends, so they see that after all the work they did, they earned that.
Yeah.
And so it's something to see. You know, there are videos of it. It's something to see when the vehicle goes down with the draped casket. And I also work with the Patriot Guard, and their motorcycle group made up of veterans and first responders, and
Right.
and they escort the rig
amazing.
out. It's a beautiful thing to see.
Did you do anything with the latest officer that just got killed when Metro?
You're talking about Ty.
Yeah.
We stood on the bridge.
Okay.
And we had all the flags lined up over the bridge while he was coming through. So
Oh, that's
What
horrible.
What do you do for fundraising? How do you get the money?
that's the thing I'm working on now. I have a Give Butter account. I do the website. I'm reaching out for grants and such. It's always good to get people to give out of their pockets. You know, like he said, there's many charities that people give to.
Right.
And you know, it can be a little something in my head, because you would think fallen heroes, that's a
Yeah.
no-brainer, and that's a thing. So we're doing our thing,
Yeah.
and we are raising funds, and it's never enough.
What are the costs for that? I mean, when
Well,
you
there's
have to do a service.
Well, there's no cost.
No, I
There's-
mean like the costs associated with the service that you do for the people. What would be a normal cost? I mean, I've never had to go through it.
I'm not sure exactly what you're asking.
Well, like when they're fallen and you go and help the family with, you know.
Talking about the whole expense.
There's
Yeah.
no cost to the family at all.
No. What does it cost you guys
Or it's
to
just
do all these things?
fuel and maintenance and those kind of things.
Yeah.
And so we do, you know, like if
It's a funeral and everything.
right.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times the funeral piece is already taken care of by the family and their funeral home and the insurance and things, and we're just an addition to that. We
okay.
become the hearse,
Okay.
Oh,
and
got it.
also we become the family's liaison, so
Okay.
to speak,
Got it.
and we support them and follow them through the process.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because if someone wanted to donate, what would be a sufficient amount, you know, to donate?
It can be anywhere from $5 to $5 million.
Oh, okay.
And the thing is, the more that they give, the more services we can provide.
Got it.
You know, we're still looking for a location to headquarter.
Right.
Because, you know, you have to have places to store fire trucks and Humvees and things.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they don't fit in your driveway. And I am renting a small space from a couple of people, but we need our own place because when you're going to ask folks for $1 million, you don't want to say meet me in Starbucks, right?
Right,
You're gonna
right.
Say, come to the building and we'll sit in the conference room and we'll discuss those things.
Hey, maybe I can find you guys some land in Pahrump. Yeah, there's a lot of.
Pahrump is a little far.
It's only 30 minutes away. I mean,
She's
you can
pro-Pahrump.
still park.
She's pro.
She's pro
Well,
Pahrump.
yes.
She's running for
The massage parlors in Pahrump.
Well, no,
He's
that's
gonna
not
do
why.
that.
No, Frank, I'm actually in real estate.
Excellent.
That's how I make most of my money.
Right.
So yeah, all these
That's
other
an old.
things.
That's
Yeah, we know.
Anyways,
We-
So.
But that's really the thing. We're looking
Yeah,
for. We're like
Pahrump is good.
either looking for a lot that's big enough because these rigs have to back in, and this is a 32-foot,
Yeah.
fire truck. If there was a building with warehousing facility attached to it, that would be great. If there was a lot of land that we could then
Yes.
have some contractors come and give something to build these things, I'm open to anything.
good.
I'm open to anything.
I can help you with that. I'm telling you.
That would be
and
awesome.
Pahrump is awesome. I mean, it's affordable. And
The
can
problem is with land and everything that's cheaper out there compared to out here. It's
Way
more difficult.
cheaper.
I was to say if you needed office space, like if you needed office space, may know some attorneys that have extra space if you really needed office space.
That would be awesome.
But then what would you do with the truck? Is it a truck, right?
Well, the truck is being stored in a garage right now.
Okay.
But
office
the-
space you could
but
use.
office space, absolutely.
Okay.
The problem with not having your own space for the vehicles is that when you can't just go whenever you want to go.
Right.
You gotta
On their time.
you gotta go on their time.
Yeah.
And there's things that you want to do. There's maintenance things. There's preparations you want to do for funerals and things.
Yeah.
And now these other two vehicles are coming. So now that's another thing. We need space for 3 vehicles.
Is it right now the nonprofit basically run by you? Do you have other people, or how does that work?
Oh, my wife is the vice president, and one of my veteran military buddies is the secretary.
If you had an office space, would you literally be there almost every other day? Like
I would be there. I would use the space.
You would use the space.
I would use the space.
Yeah, but the
So you-
office
you-
space won't have the parking for what they need.
No,
right?
I know that he said,
Yeah.
but right now, but like, I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, just
if
have
I-
a headquarter.
If I may be able to get him office space, then
Well-
well,
well-
nothing for the time being.
Well, it's good. I mean, I'm operating right now with what I have as far as office space. My biggest goal right now, my biggest trial is space for the vehicles because
Yeah.
if the
Okay.
space, if I'm allowed to have a space with the vehicles, then I can put an office there.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so question for you. In regards to something happened, I think it was today, and I think I mentioned before, but I want to bring it up. What's your take with all your experience with Vegas? We talk about crime, but in regards to terrorism or fires, how do you feel, like you've been on the strip numerous times, how do you feel safety-wise, like for fires? I'm not sure if you ever followed the story, but back in the day, the MGM fire. I mean, what's your take on Vegas in regards to like terrorism? Like this situation, it was a former Marine threatened deadly explosive attacks on the Las Vegas Strip. And basically someone called it in. He had explosives. He had grenade launchers and general like that. They made the arrest for the guy, but basically he had AR-15, armor-piercing bullets, other military law enforcement tools, and he basically stated that, again, mental health, right? The guy says, "You'll see, I'm coming for you," and basically he made threats to come to the Strip, and he basically had all the stuff to carry out an attack. I'm assuming, maybe it's PTSD or mental health in regards to him being a former Marine. But I guess prior history that, he wanted to kill an HOA representative and spray painted it inside elevators and stuff like that. There's $1 million bail for the guy. I guess my question is, thoughts in regards to terrorism on the Strip. It's like 9/11, right? They did it years ago. What was it, 1986? They've had time to wait. This is different because the guy's mental health issues probably with this particular guy. But in regards to terrorism in general, you were down there for 9/11, but years ago, right, the towers were hit prior.
Right.
What's your take on whether it's terrorism, in the future or even in Vegas? Like, people think in regards to terrorism that Vegas is Sin City, that we have drones, that we fly in other countries and we're, killing other people. And like Vegas is, in other countries, especially probably Muslim countries where they're anti-America, they're thinking that, Vegas is just one big crazy world and they're just like sending drones to kill people in other countries. You ever see that? It's like a cartoon where it shows like Vegas.
No.
Because we're like the city of sin. Is that why they're
Basically,
attacking
it
us?
shows like the
Okay.
Vegas Strip in other countries. They're like, like the military's like hanging out in Vegas and they're sending drones over to kill
Oh,
people.
really?
I didn't
They show
see
that
I
that
didn't
one.
see that
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, there's like cartoons that that they're that they're drawing in probably in these other countries.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Showcasing Vegas as like the devil.
Right.
Like America, the devil, you know, and then but they show Vegas. So I was always concerned in regards to the Strip because it's definitely you have Nellis Air Force Base, you have the Strip, you have what do you call the secret,
Area 51.
like there's a lot of conspiracy theories for people in other countries. So I just any take in regards to terrorism, how to prevent stuff because after 9/11, you guys went through a lot more training.
Well, preventing. I don't know about that. I think there's the government's doing a good job at
like being behind the scenes informing,
finding them out, right? The intel and things like that. That's really where we have to focus. The rest of it, it's not so much.
More reactive, right?
It's not. It's exactly what it is, and it's not if but when. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think what other countries look at this is because it does have the name Sin City, and so a lot of those countries are.
Hateful.
They're hateful because of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dave, I think have you watched anybody watch that documentary 13 Minutes? I believe it's either on Hulu or Netflix.
Not yet.
It's about the shooting here that happened in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay. Yeah. I would recommend watching that. I'm going to warn you. You're going to cry through the whole thing. I mean, it's heartbreaking from the minute it comes on to the minute it goes out. And I think to myself, we didn't learn any lessons from this. I go to the Strip more than probably any of us here. And I don't, and I get it. There's nothing we could do. If a terrorist attack's going to happen, unless we catch it, we're screwed. I totally believe that. But I think we need to be more aware and at least put more security out there. Like, there is absolutely zero security on the Strip.
Well, what's happening is it's the same situation that happened in the movie Jaws, right?
Right.
The mayor was on top of this guy. He says, shh.
Yep.
We got it. This is a big holiday weekend. We can't.
Yep.
I think we're more concerned about making the money. Yeah. We got to keep. We can't ask too many questions. That guy had 20 some odd bags full of ammunition.
Yes.
I mean, how many bags do you have to bring in before somebody says, nobody notices?
Yeah. What's going on, right?
What are you doing? You building a house? What's
And listen, they don't even check people going up the rooms in half these casinos.
No.
Some do, but it's ridiculous. After all of this went on, they're still not checking keys. They're still letting people go anywhere they want. Like, it's crazy. And you're right. It's only a matter of time the incident number 2 happens, and we're not prepared. The Strip is not prepared. It's horrible. Just my opinion. Every time I go down there, it's not prepared for anything.
They always check for a key. Janti, I know you spend a lot of time in the hotel rooms.
No, I do not spend a lot of time in the hotel's room, Dave.
She sells real estate, man.
I'm in real estate.
That's when you sell the real estate. The hotel rooms in Vegas, no?
I'm going to pimp you out soon.
Is that a strategy or no?
I don't know anything about that.
So you have to show how's it work?
I don't know.
See, but that's another thing.
I really don't hang around.
But that's another thing that's kind of crap too, because anybody can get a hotel key and just show it and walk through.
Yes.
They have to find a way that the guard is standing there. He goes, beep. Okay, this key is good.
Yes.
Go upstairs because the name comes up.
Sometimes
where's your
ID? I think.
Dave, I don't know, man. I've been on the Strip. I don't see any of that. Nothing. I think the Strip is a dangerous place, and it's going to get more dangerous if we don't do something about it.
But the world is a dangerous place.
I totally agree, but when you're in,
just a Strip.
Let's put it this way. If there was crime all around the house that you were going to sell, right? That's the main house, the main income that you're going to sell. Will you protect that house?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's our main income for Las Vegas, the city, and we're not protecting it. We're not protecting it at all. No. And I don't get that. Governor, mayor, police chief, protect the Strip. It's our income. Please, protect it. I don't know why you're not.
But we talked about the people not wanting to join the force, because of all the stuff happening, right? They don't want to, or they're afraid to now.
That's another thing.
The problem is they need to move law enforcement, and even if there's overtime, if you're down 40% of the cops, use that money to basically pay overtime so cops are working the Strip and working the regular.
How about having a station on the Strip? How about that smart?
There is one.
Actually,
where?
There's actually
a new it's right next to Mandalay Bay on the south
actually,
side.
Two things. There's one very south by Russell, but there's
that's horrible.
Right across
you might as well not have it. That's the worst. You might be in the middle of the Strip.
Oh, how about this? How about in the casino?
Yes.
How about one right in the middle of the casino?
Exactly.
Well, no one's going to want. There's a private business.
Casino?
No, there's a new one by Resorts World. There's a small station that's right there.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Right in front of Resorts World.
So now you have two on the Strip.
Small station, but right there on the Strip.
Listen. I see zero cops on that Strip.
I mean, it's a whole
zero.
There's way too little cops here.
Yes, zero cops on that Strip.
I don't think it used to be like that. It used to be better in general. All right, question for you: Stratosphere Hotel is the highest, basically a platform. God forbid something happened. You have been to the top of the world. Give us some safety tips in regards to like a fireman background. Like if there was something that happened and you're in the tower,
You're up there.
the stratosphere, because actually the day you saw somebody, I used to go there for like lunch and stuff like that.
Sure.
We did lunch there.
You
right?
took me lunch there.
Yeah, I take Danny out for dates.
Classy.
He took me there. We had lobster.
Very
you bought me
classy.
lobster.
So-
$24.99.
It was $9.95 was a special.
I had to go to the hotel room with him
So,
afterwards. But
how do you get out of there?
It was quick.
Elevators,
Stairs.
stairs.
Never use an elevator.
Never use an elevator.
Never.
Well, it would be probably shut down, right? Or
You just
stuck.
you get stuck in an elevator,
Yeah.
you're done because that
Yeah.
becomes a chimney.
Yeah.
You know, Danny, one thing that you should do, which you probably don't know about, but you know they have a fireman run. You know,
I want to do it.
The walk in. The
Yes,
stairs,
I
the
want to do
towers.
it. I just
The
you
stair
want to
climb,
do it.
yeah.
Stair climb, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
It's
I wanna
opened
do
up
it.
to a lot of people, but it's like a fundraiser. I can
Yeah.
look it up. You heard about it?
Yes, I heard about it. I want to
Okay.
do it. Yeah.
That
That'd be
sounds
good.
like fun.
Yeah. Let's all do it. I keep
It's a
trying
lot
to
of-
tell you to
it's a
do
lot of
this.
stairs.
Let's lose our love handles.
Yeah, I agree.
Actually, I don't even have love hands.
Oh, you don't?
So
I did.
He's one big love handle. He don't have a
grab
love.
my face.
Wow.
So yeah, no, that would be good. That would be good actually to do as a nonprofit. I always hear about it. I've never seen it, but
I think it's in February.
it's definitely a problem. God forbid. So basically, saying take the stairs.
Anytime you see a fire in a building, take the stairs.
Okay, tell us in regards to people's homes. Give us some tips. Like I actually feel the other day, like should everybody have, what is it, carbon monoxide? Tell us a
Carbon
little bit
monoxide, smoke detectors. Always change your batteries.
Is it once a
every
year?
6 months?
Every 6 months,
When you
okay.
change the clock, change the batteries.
Oh, that's what it is. That's a good one. Okay,
Oh, interesting.
I like
yeah.
that. So fire, basically.
So that's twice a year.
Fire safety tips.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is. Every 6
That's
months.
probably, that's probably why mine never works.
Because you're not changing it. We have to change. Yeah, can you change?
Or the
it?
people that it
Change
starts to beep and they just knock it down.
That's what I do.
Right.
I take the battery
I just
out.
Take the battery out.
Yeah.
That's useful.
You know, with regards to carbon monoxide, tell us a little bit
Terrible.
about that because I noticed the other day there was like 4 or 5 people died in Mexico City. It was Airbnb.
Because you can't smell it.
You can't smell it, right?
Oh.
And where does it come? Basically it's from gas from
The
stove.
boiler, anything that's creating heat. All
So
of
if
that.
the stove is on just gas, the carbon
That's gas. You'll smell that.
You would smell that.
Carbon monoxide, you probably won't smell.
So where does it come from? I really don't.
Does it
we
come
always
from-
talk about it, but I don't really know.
Furnace or something?
the furnace.
Oh, the furnace. See?
And you don't smell it at all.
And the furnace is usually not in your house, correct? But it can go into. Can it go into the?
That's correct.
So
Oh,
here's a
okay.
question for you. I don't know how it totally works. We got Jason, I think it's Griggs, that was a realtor that does Airbnb. What would you do to enforce that aspect? Is it? I guess you would make it a local law that if like you have Airbnb or a home,
If you have a home, you should have to have it. It should be mandatory.
is it one on each floor?
Oh, it's more than one.
Yeah.
So multiple rooms.
They're throughout the house. Yeah.
Okay. So multiple carbon monoxide. Do you even have one in your place?
I
Well,
do it,
now that
yeah.
they're
I have 3 of them.
They're combined now.
Oh, they're combined.
Smoke
Fire.
detectors and,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
carbon monoxide. They sell them as one thing.
Okay.
Well, I believe if you get an FHA loan, they require it anyways.
I don't remember hearing that.
Yeah.
I did. But my first house I bought, I got an FHA loan.
Yeah.
So
And it's
they
better
check,
to
right?
and it's better to get the ones that are hardwired into a system so it can be monitored by somewhere else.
Oh, I
So your
see.
security system, a lot of those, if you get them with the monitors,
ADT or something like that.
right, it'll go through the system, and if it goes off, they'll call you.
Interesting. Okay. But I mean, okay, so but if you get poisoned, you're just going to sleep pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and not waking up.
Right.
Okay, so you don't feel anything.
No.
I actually feel really bad that we would talk about it because I have like a few smoke detectors like chirping. The battery has to be changed.
Oh, it's chirping now?
And then the other day, I think I don't know who took it off, but the carbon monoxide. No, carbon monoxide has the battery. I know it just needs to be on top of it. So you always think
Yeah.
that it's no big deal, like
Yeah.
it's not going to happen to you,
Right.
Until something happens. So over 22 years, would you say how many carbon monoxide deaths have you seen as a fireman?
Oh, well, you don't really know that that's what it is
Yeah.
at first.
The chlorine that comes out?
But the officers carry a monoxide
Alarm?
monitor on their
Yeah.
jacket, so it'll go off.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Did you experience that a lot, a little?
Nah, not so much.
So it's not a big.
It's not a big thing.
I had a couple. Did you have a couple? I can remember
don't
back. I had a
remember.
couple suicides like that.
Suicides. Oh, like in the car. With
Yeah, in the
hose
car,
and stuff like that?
yes.
Yeah. I always feel like you see that on TV in general, but I don't
Yeah.
really remember.
No, I had them.
Okay, anything else that
Wow.
you want to share with your wisdom and background? Basically, we covered the nonprofit. If people want to donate, you mentioned that we can send people to. We can add it to the problem solver. We have an app, and basically we add it so people want to basically, help raise some money. I think I can get you some office space with one of the attorneys that we work with that have some space if you want space. But I think the car situation is different. We could use
The car
Yes.
situation
Doc-
is
Yeah.
huge.
Dr. G can help you. in
I
regards
have
to
some
that.
land for sale as well, actually.
Okay.
But
You
the
have
problem is-
you have some land to give?
We'll talk about it. Yeah.
It is a number.
We'll
yeah,
talk
you know,
about it.
yeah.
Yes.
She has some space.
I have some space. Yes.
Look at that.
I have a
Is
lot
it-
of land elsewhere, though.
Is it
I have a
the space that you have-
lot of land,
It's
but
got-
it's kind of
it's-
far from here.
It's got to
but-
be RV garage type
Yeah.
space, not just because there's
Yeah,
a lot
that
of places
space-
that have RV parking and it's not
Yes.
the same. It has to be protected because
Absolutely.
Do you have protected space? She's
Yeah.
very protective.
No, you would have to build the space.
that's all right.
It gets expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can get people. Once you
Really?
have a lot of land, somebody will come up with wanting to
ta-
build something on it.
You can
Yeah.
use a tax write-off.
Yeah, so we'll talk about it. I mean, one of my land is very affordable.
We are 501c3,
affordable.
so it is tax deductible.
How much is
Okay.
affordable? I'm just curious.
It's not too bad. I mean,
It's not too
You're
bad.
putting her on the
not bad.
spot.
Less than 100 grand.
Oh, then I'm in.
Yeah, less than 100 grand, and it's over an acre.
That's perfect.
with water rights.
Where is it
and
in
water-
Utah?
No,
it's
Peru.
Pahrump. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we covered basically some fire safety tips. We talked a little bit about terrorism in general. Anything else that we missed in general? We know that you're singing. You want to sing any few
You want to
words to John
sing?
T?
You want to take us out?
Are you done? You want to take us out singing?
You want to
something?
conclude us with a song?
We can close our eyes as if we're not here.
No,
Does that help?
Is there something we could do for like the background? Like we'll say do
like,
do do do, click our hands.
That
something
sounds
like
fantastic.
That. Let's do it. Let's do it. Is there anything we can do?
Why don't we?
You take us out with a song. How about that?
Take us out with the song.
Do we
Come on,
click?
Frank.
Wow.
We can,
Per
you want us to-
favore,
can we close our
per-
eyes.
per
Does that help?
favore.
Does that help? You must have sang
I
it
deal
for
with
how
this
many
every
people?
week, Frank.
Do you?
Oh, actually,
Oh, yeah.
how
There's
about
always
this?
a singer in
By
the
the way,
room.
Yeah, he's a
we
singer.
could have Chase. We could have Chase,
Chase-
sing with you too.
Chase can help.
No.
Is there a specific song? Chase, show him real quickly one of your tunes.
I
He
kinda
just
showed him a
did.
little
Yeah,
bit
he
earlier,
did. He did.
You want to show anything else there?
Damn
No,
it.
I've got a recital I'm preparing for, Dave.
Okay.
I know I know a
plan.
platter song. I just can't think of it right now.
Pick a song. He's getting ready. He's adjusting
You ready?
his chair. Do you want a tune or?
Oh, you did talking to me. I
Yeah,
thought you
no.
were talking
All right, what do you want to sing?
Both of y'all.
Ready?
There it is.
Only you can make this world seem right. Only you can make the darkness bright. Only you and you alone can fill me like you do, and fill my heart with love for only you.
All right.
Oh, wow. Love that song.
Awesome.
Oh,
You know-
thank you, Frank.
I know you were referred to us by Frank Citro, and I didn't get a chance to talk with him for the last week. But I wanted to do something with him, like maybe at the Italian American Club or something like that. Have you ever sung with him or did things with him?
No, I did some stuff that he hosted.
Okay.
Some events, I sang at Sonny Turner's funeral.
Okay.
And I've sang at some events that they were doing to honor other people. So that's really where I'm at right now.
Well, actually, I wanted to get with Frank with him to talk about doing like a dinner thing, maybe at Italian American Club.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And
let's
maybe
do
we can
that.
get you involved as well.
Sure.
Yeah,
I made
let's
up a
do that.
little, I think I made up a little flyer I sent you.
Absolutely.
But I need to get with Frank to discuss that in general like that. But I really appreciate you coming on the show again. So it's Frank Pizzaro.
Right.
And then explain the nonprofit again and what's the website?
firefightermemorialtransport.org. And we're open to all the donations that can possibly come in. There's a lot to be done. We're also looking at a museum situation because this is the only state in the United States that doesn't have a fire museum. So we have a lot of artifacts and things from 9/11 and all that good business. And
Yes.
we would.
The police museum is actually up in Carson City. You've probably never been to it
No.
yet. There's a police museum upstate.
Wow.
But it's funny you say that about the fire department.
Yeah, and it would be great to have something down here where we can attract the tourists, and they, because everybody thinks, Nevada is not just Las Vegas. Las
Right.
Vegas is 4 miles.
Right. Right.
There's a whole state,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of education and things that need to happen. So,
Awesome.
bring awareness. We would teach, fire safety and all that to the kids, and probably hand out smoke detectors and all
That's
that good stuff.
great.
Well, if
So-
you ever need help from us, we're here for you.
I appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
Donate, everyone, please.
I mean, Frank, you,
Donate.
you were a hero, in your lifetime, and now that you're retired from the force, I mean, from the fire department, you're a hero again, and you're helping heroes.
My aim is to serve those who served us already.
I agree.
So
Awesome, man. I
Amazing.
appreciate everything you do.
Well, Frank, I appreciate your time here today, and we'll definitely get the message out. We'll help you as much as possible. And again, thanks so much, John T, for co-hosting, and Danny Miner basically hosting as well. Again, the Problem Solve the goal is to help people, different problems, today sharing some information with Frank, especially some fire tips and getting information about his nonprofit. If people want to help out, contact the Problem Solver at 702-999-1111. Again, 702-999-1111. Otherwise, any problems, let us know. We'll see you next week, and be safe out there.
Awesome.